Rightio. Hopefully Twitch is cooperating today. Should be. Usually cooperates. There's the cause channel. I think it's uploading as I speak. There it is there. Twitch, that's great. But I'm pretty sure that the audio is working just fine. I'll double check in just a few moments. But hello everyone, and welcome to round one of the AM1 Championship here on Contest of Speed. I'm Lane Everingham, your commentator for this event, and this time we are racing at Bahrain International Circuit for the Bahrain Grand Prix. The 3.36 mile 15 turn circuit was constructed in 2004 and designed by track-making Supremo Herman Tilke. It served as the first ever racetrack in the Middle East to host a Formula One Grand Prix and is generally regarded as a pretty solid racetrack. The circuit contains 3 DRS zones that lead into turns 1, 4 and 11. Turn 1 is usually the best overtaking spot on the circuit, but we do see a fair bit of action into turn 4, not so much turn 11. There are a few hazards for the drivers to look out for, such as the harsh curbs at turns 5, 6 and 7, and the auto spin inside curb at turn 12. Both areas have claimed many drivers over online league racing history. One of the nicer things about Bahrain is the little to no chance of rain, and that usually makes for better racing and closer qualifying. Speaking of which, there's no news to go through. That means we can focus on qualifying right now. 17 cars for this race tonight. Pretty healthy field. It's not a full field of cars though, which is a tad bit disappointing, but hey-oh, these things happen. No, I'm very much looking forward to us, and it will give us a good indication of who's where in terms of pace and who we might think will be fighting for the Drivers' Championship for Season 9. I just want to double check the audio to make sure it's working. Yeah, the audio is working just fine, so that's good to see because, oh, that poor DHL board, it's been murdered by Cameron there. Better not take out the braking boards at turn 11. You need those braking boards, especially if you're not running racing line. What was I going on about? Oh yes, there was a update for the PS4, a software update that changed a few things in PlayStation parties, and I just wanted to make sure that the audio was working just fine, and it appears that it is, so that's fantastic to hear. As Mr. Lopez here is setting off on a flying lap. He's on the medium compound tyre. Strategy for tonight, considering it's not raining because, well, it's Bahrain. As Lopez has a massive tank flapper at the exit of turn 4. And there you go. There's the curbs playing a part in that high-speed S section at turns 5, 6 and 7. You do have to be very, very careful of those curbs. If you ride them awkwardly, you can spin out, lose control, and potentially end up in the barrier. But, because it's Bahrain, there's no chance of rain. I've never, ever seen a race here in the wet, and I think Cameron has spun same section that Lopez did. And he's in reverse at the moment, backing the car up. He does have to be a bit careful. It's probably a smart thing to do to back the car up, because if you go too far backwards, in terms of track direction, you can get disqualified. So that's probably an intelligent thing to do from Cameron. And he gets going again, just behind P-Dog Peyton. The strategy for tonight will be either soft medium or medium soft. The hard tyre, bit of a useless tyre. The medium compound tyre can last a fairly lengthy distance. I'd say about 20-21 laps. If you're a bit careful, as Mitch Burns jumps up to pole position. And I would think those outside the top 10, they'll be more inclined to try and do the alternate strategy going from medium to soft. That is, of course, with the idea that we're not going to have any safety cars over the course of this race, and I believe we're probably going to see at least one safety car during the race, as Express jumps up to P3 with the 27.8. Hello, KD. Yeah, it's a bit sad that you aren't able to attend tonight. I know this is one of your favourite racetracks. But, oh well, at least you're here watching the stream. You can tag along. See how everybody fares. Mr. Aaron Carey here is going to complete a flying lap to set a 29.3. Goes 9th fastest on the medium compound tyre. Nicholas Latifi is about to start a flying lap. We'll ride on board with the Red Bull driver. Give you a proper guided tour of this 3.36 mile racetrack. And I've got it in miles an hour on the telemetry for all you Americans out there. Entering at 201 miles an hour into turn 1. Taking it in second gear, not bothering to short shift at the exit. Through turns 2 and 3, quite a tricky complex to get right. The back end does not want to cooperate through turns 2 and 3. Into turn 4, bringing it down to third gear. No short shifting from Nicholas, using all of third gear on the exit. Into turn 5, into turn 6, and then into turn 7. You have to be careful of the inside curb and the outside curb. I've seen a few drivers get caught out by that outside curb at turn 7. Exiting turn 8, up and over the crest, into turns 9 and 10, the most famous part of the racetrack. Very tricky braking zone. You tend to see a lot of locking up into that complex. Down the back straightaway with DRS wide open. You'll head into turn 11, entering in at 193 miles an hour. Brings it down to 4th gear, down to 5th gear, 6th gear, into the notorious turn 12. Avoid that inside curb. You do not want to touch it, ever. Around turn 13, onto this long straightaway. Turn 12, ever since I started league racing back in 2019, that curb has been the death of me every time I've raced here. Around turn 14, and now the final corner, turn 15. He's actually backed out of the lap. But yes, that final complex there, it's 2 corners. It's not 1 turn. That's 2 corners. I never understood that, but yeah, it's a thing. Mr. Lopez here making his way around turn 12 and perfectly demonstrating what I've been talking about literally a minute ago. It's just, you touch that curb, you spin. It's just that simple. So you have to stay away from it, but also try and get as close as possible. Try and maximize speed around the corner. Seems that the 2 AlphaTauris are battling one another. Hopefully close on track. Hello Cam, nice to see you've joined the stream as well. Supporting Andy and Dream. Yeah, quite right KD. Considering you did win a league race here yesterday. Did a pretty mega lap as well. 1 minute 25.8, but I believe here in AM1 ABS is prohibited. I'll double check that. I'm pretty certain ABS is prohibited. Yep, there you go. Turned off. Same with traction control. You've only got racing line. That's the only assist that is allowed. You can have a full racing line according to that. So you know where you're going on the straights as well. But yeah, this track, it's well known for being an assist circuit and a pad circuit, as Dream has had a moment. That is at turn 8, the entry to turn 8. But he gets going again. And no harm done to his qualifying session. Rich Burns getting ready. Elliot currently P2 with a 26.678. He is just over 1/10 behind Andy Wu, who is occupying pole position. But we've still got heaps of time in qualifying. We've got 9.5 minutes left. Mitch is about to take off on a flying lap, heading down the main straightaway with DRS open. He'll begin his flying lap. Heading towards turn 1, entering at 203 miles an hour before he gets on the brakes to go around turn 1 in second gear. Short shifting to 4th, so he's desperately trying to find traction heading around turn 2. Heading up towards turn 4 now. He'll bring it down to third gear. Any short shift here? No, he's fairly committed in third gear, credit to him. And he's only down by 13 thousandths of a second. Exiting turn 7, around the hairpin of turn 8, you can see already there's a massive carpet of rubber heading into the braking zone at turn 7. Around turns 9 and 10, second gear, being nice and gentle. Heading down the back straightaway. DRS wide open. Shifting into top gear. Enter at 194 miles an hour. Heading around turn 11, now the notorious turn 12. Avoiding that inside curb as best he can. and he's up by 0.3 of a second. He would need to find about 0.7 in order to challenge Andy Wu, as Cameron jumps up to pole position with a 26.2. Heading around turn 14, then turn 15, the final corner on the racetrack, back onto the main straightaway, DRS open. Burns will cross the line to stay fourth fastest, but improves to a 26.971. Anyway, making his way onto the back straightaway. Barmer's about to complete a flying lap here. He's up by 1.2 seconds, and he jumps up to P4, setting a 1 minute 26.883. He's just behind his teammate, who is making his way around turn 12. Anyway, Wetz is up by just over 0.2 of a second in the middle sector. With that sort of improvement, he can overtake Andy Wu, who is on a flying lap as well. Heading down towards the penultimate turn of 14. Brings it down to third gear. It's on the power nicely. Just enough outside curb. Opens DRS. He'll cross the line to jump up to P2 with a 1 minute 26.419. Andy is up by 75 thousandths of a second in the first sector. He needs to improve by about 0.2 to jump up to P2. He needs to find about 0.4 to jump up to pole position, as I believe Nicholas Latifi has jumped up to fourth place with a 26.8. I think one of the Alpines also jumped up a few positions as well. I couldn't quite confirm who that was. Heading down towards turn 11, bringing it down to fourth gear, hitting the apex well. Getting a nice run through these high-speed sweepers. Up towards the second sector split. The clock says he's up, but only just by 29 thousandths, and he's invalidated at turn 13, cutting too much at the right-hander. He's on an in-lap. Mitch Burns, I think you're on an in-lap as well. Payton's on an in-lap. Elite Game Boy, you appear to be on a flying lap. Are you consuming battery here? The answer is no. Oh dear, as Bursey has left the session, he's in the pit lane currently. And look at this teamwork here from Dream and Express. Will Dream duck out of the way? No. Oh, they're both on flying laps. Okay, so they're not exactly working together here. Oh, as Dream, I think he invalidated that. No, he doesn't. Okay, interesting. Around turn 4, heading up to the first sector split. Express is down by 1/10.5, and you do expect that being stuck behind your teammate. Oh, speaking of which, there's the outside curb at turn 7, claiming another driver. Fortunately, he hasn't crashed out because of that spin, but yeah, that outside curb at turn 7, it's a piece of work at the best of times. JD up by 0.4 of a second in the middle sector. Only has a couple more corners to negotiate, but makes a sloppy mistake there at turn 13, just using too much curb. And as a result, he invalidates his lap. I'm sure he'd be kicking himself with that. Let's see here, Kitten Petter, you're on an in-lap. I think everyone on track right now is on an in-lap. They'll go back into the pits and get ready for the final part of qualifying, the business end of qualifying. Mitch is out on track, doing an outlap. Doesn't need to get his tyres up to temperature just yet. Can drive nice and steadily. Can wait essentially until the third sector, until he needs to start getting temperature into his tyres. But no, we got plenty of time to burn. The drivers need to be wary because the track, it is 3.3 miles, so it's fairly lengthy. So the outlap and in-lap take a little while, so you do need to be careful with the clock and not let it run down too far. Otherwise you'll get caught out because of it. And if you do, well, it could go quite poorly for you. Considering this is a racetrack that everyone knows. You can see at the moment qualifying is relatively close. Top 9 are separated by less than a second, which is pretty solid considering this is no assist racing, minus racing line, of course. So to see everyone so close in the no assist tier, it's pretty good to see. Mitch here, he's about to start what could be his final flying lap. Heading onto the main straight now. Carry as much speed as he can out of the final corner. Heading down towards turn 1. I think the last time we checked he entered at about 203, and he does the same on this lap as well. Gets out of turn 1, around turn 2, and into turn 3. Head towards turn 4 with DRS wide open. He'll enter at 193 miles an hour, which is about the same speed he entered last time. Sector 1 says he's up by 0.2 of a second. That's a healthy improvement to the first sector, if ever I saw one. Especially considering the fact there's only 4 corners in the first sector. To improve by 0.2, it's a fairly mega effort. Around turn 9 into turn 10, there is a Haas just in front. Not quite sure who that is. Either Fatal or Mitch, 791. A few other drivers have just started flying laps. Barmer making his way around turn 1. Nicholas, he's just about to complete the first sector, and he's up by 1/10 of a second. Mitch is, he lost a 1/10 in the middle sector. He's lost a 1/10. He's only a 1/10 up. He can still improve position though if he can get this final sector right around turn 14 and turn 15. He's low on fuel as well, so this will more than likely be his final lap in qualifying. He jumps up to P5, improving by 2/10 to set a 1 minute 26.751. Latifi's making his way towards the middle sector split. Clock says for the Red Bull driver he's up by only 18 thousandths of a second. Meanwhile, Barmer is up by 1/10.5 in the first sector. He's making his way around turn 12 up towards the middle sector split. Ferrari there getting out of the way. That is, I'm not sure who that is. Is that Kitten? No, it isn't. It's Andy Wu. Nicholas crosses the line, stays 6th fastest with a 26.760. Barmer's up by almost 4/10 as he heads onto the main straightaway, opens DRS, crosses the line, jumps up to P3 just behind his teammate, setting a 1 minute 26.457. Dream has retired out of qualifying as well. He's in the AlphaTauri. He's retired in the pit lane. I see Andy has invalidated his lap at turn 3. His qualifying is over. Kittenpetter is running tight on time as well, I've just noticed. Elliott has gone back into the pit lane, so he's not going to try and improve. Cameron here, making his way around turn 4, heading towards the first sector split. What does the clock say for the Red Bull driver? It says he's up by 1/10 of a second. Heading around turn 7, down the hill and around turn 8. Taking the hairpin in second gear, short shifting to 3rd on the exit. He heads up and over the crest into turns 9 and 10. Brings it down from 7th gear down to 2nd at the apex at turn... he goes awfully wide. And somehow the game doesn't invalidate him. I suppose it's because of how much time he spent off the racetrack. Around turn 11, up the hill towards turn 12. Keeping it absolutely flat out. And he's up by 2/10 of a second in the middle sector. A bit of a wiggle at the exit of turn 13, but he kept the car straight. That's the important thing. As Peyton, I believe, has jumped up to P5 with a 26.590. Out of the final corner, another big wiggle, and Cameron just ducks back into pit lane. Oh no, he completes the flying lap. Okay. Setting a 1 minute 26.026. That's a bizarre flying lap if ever I saw one. Kittenpetter, he is on a flying lap. He does have Express right in front, who is also setting a flying lap. Petter is down by 0.5 of a second. What about Express in P15? What is he up to? He's now getting out of the way of Kittenpetter. Makes his way around the final 2 corners on the racetrack. Heading down the main straightaway. And he doesn't complete his flying lap either. Fatal, he goes back into the pit lane as well. So I believe that's qualifying over. It's Cameron on pole position with a 1 minute 26.026. beating Elio at 24's time of a 1 minute 26.419. Just under 4/10 of a second separating the top two, so it's a fairly big margin at the end of qualifying. But Elio wasn't able to set his final flying lap. Yeah, you can tell from the red track map he must have invalidated at the final turn, I would guess. So he wasn't able to set a flying lap. Our defending champion Bahrain will start P3 just behind his teammate. We'll run through the rest of the order and we see the results screen. Rightio, so in P4 we have Andy Wu in the Ferrari, followed by P-Dog Payton. Kitten Petter, Andy's teammate, will start P6, so it's a fairly decent qualifying from Ferrari. Mitch Burns P7 in the Aston Martin, followed by Nicholas Latifi. Then JD TV8 and Elite Game Boy rounds out the top 10, all of them setting times on the soft tyre. Outside of 10 we have Bursey, Fatal, Aaron Carey, Mitch, Express, Dream and Lopez will start from the back of the field. Hello Matty Robbo, supporting the McLaren boys, as you do. I'd have to say these McLaren boys are doing a fair bit better than the real-life McLaren boys. Poor fellas. Don't exactly have the most competitive car at the moment. Could say the same about every single Mercedes engine car, minus Mercedes themselves. Williams, Aston Martin, McLaren do not look competitive for 2022. Tad bit sad, especially for me as an Australian supporting Daniel. it's not a great thing to see. So, oh, you can see a bit of cloud cover. I think that was in the weather report because, of course, we do custom weather in Contest of Speed. It's not dynamic. You can see a few clouds about, like the darker spots in the sky. Pretty cool. You don't see too much cloud cover here in Bahrain. I can't wait for one day where it actually rains. I can't wait for that day. It's going to throw a massive spanner into the works because no one, I think, has ever done any wet weather driving at this circuit, period. Unless they were curious to see what it was like. No, I want to be there for that day where it actually rains here in the league race. That would just be the most amazing day. It would be just the biggest tick checked off in my list of things as a league race commentator. I did not say that right. An F1 online league racing commentator, I guess, is the proper way to say that. I did see your predictions, Vamu. I'll go and fetch them. I did see them in the Discord. I'll go and find them. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. So one of the Discord members in Contest of Speed, Vamu, who drives here semi-regularly, he has got Bahrain as our race winner, followed by Andy, as Cameron is destroying a few more boards while he's at it. He's got Nicholas / Cameron to complete the podium. Well, from the looks of things from qualifying, Cameron looks to be fairly quick, so I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Cameron on the podium, just not P3. Yeah, he looked quick, very quick for qualifying. Our DNFs, Dream, Express, Mitch, and I saw as well, that's Mitch 791, not Mitch Burns, Elliot, and Nicholas / Cameron. Fair enough. I can understand that. Like, the podium one, I think, is pretty solid. Maybe not in that order, but definitely those members have a real chance of getting a podium here tonight. I mean, they're starting from P1, P3, and P4, so they're in the ideal positions to begin with. But 5 retirements, that's a lot of retirements from this race, but that's entirely possible here at Bahrain. Quite a few areas to be mindful of. Rightio, we'll run through who's starting on what tyre, because we haven't done that yet. Rightio. It's a bit more of a mix than I thought it was going to be. So obviously the top 10, they're all starting on the soft compound tyre from qualifying. Got Bursey P11 starting on the medium, same with Fatal and P12. Aaron Carey is the only driver outside the top 10 starting on the soft compound tyre. Then it's Mitch 791 starting on the mediums. Same with Express and his teammate Dream in P15 and 16, and Lopez, he's starting on the medium tyre. So for the soft runners, the pit window will be about lap 10, 11, I'd say. For the medium runners, it'll be about lap 17, 18, maybe 19. To get off the medium tyre and onto the soft compound tyre. Oh yeah, just be waiting on Lopez to line up into his slot. And we can get this race underway. 17 cars, a very healthy field for this opening round of the AM1 Championship. Got 29 laps in front of us and 10 red lights. And we are underway here in Bahrain. Cameron gets a pretty decent start from pole position. The field head down towards turn 1. Andy's up a place, up into P3. Make that P2 as he goes down the inside into turn 1. But it's Cameron who leads the field entirely around turn 1. Barmer's up into P3. Elliot's lost 2 positions. He's down to 4th, and he's being challenged by Kitten Petter as a Williams runs awfully wide. That was Lopez there at the back of the field as Barmer overtakes Andy Wu. That is for P2. Andy fights back there side by side. Heading around turn 6, Barmer gets in front. Kitten gets through as well, so does P-Dog Payton. Elliot, this is a shocking start for the McLaren driver, and he's down another position as Nicholas is looking around the outside at turn 8, and he is successful. So the McLaren's... Oh, dearie me. What was that? Oh, it's lag. Okay, so he's actually in 4th. Wow-wee. Oh, okay then. Right, that took me off guard, to say the least. Cameron's already got a 2-second lead out in front. Oh, it's Peters looking down the inside of Elliot. He's through into 4th place. Payton now trying to find a way round. Looking around the outside of turn 12, and he's successful. Oh, and Nicholas is trying to do the same. Here at 13, it's tight. Oh, contact, more contact, even more contact. And I think everyone got away with that. I didn't see any end plate fly. Oh, my giddy aunt. Okay, that's a bit scary to see, not going to lie. When you see a car drop all the way down to about 10th or so, and then they just teleport back to 4th. Okay, cool. Yeah, sure, why not? Right, so a bit of drama on the opening lap with connection issues, I think. Rest of the field, though, seemed pretty okay. No major drama on the opening lap. We saw Lopez go wide a few times. It's Kitten Petter. Oh, dearie me. He is spun out at the exit of turn 3. Be careful. He's rejoined onto the racetrack safely, but he's now down in last place. He's probably going to stay there for the rest of the race unless there's a safety car. Bit of battling going on here between Lopez and Dream. Lopez has the inside line. Now Dream has it at turn 7. As Payton gets by Elliot. Oh dear. Yeah, look at that. So he's red Xing. And then he'll stop red Xing in a moment and teleport back to 4. Oh, dearie me. He'll teleport straight back to 4th place. I want to catch... Oh my goodness. And there he goes. He just shoots off. There he is there. The orange McLaren. Oh my goodness me. Oh, okay. Right. That's a sight to see. Oh. And I can tell it's not just me because Nicholas was trying to avoid him. There's a predicted tyre stop strategy. The drivers won't be doing that. 2-stop is not worth it here. Unless you're really pushing and praying for safety cars and whatnot. It's lap 3 now. DRS is enabled. Now, how is this going to pan out between this leading pack here with Barmer, Andy and Elliot? Payton isn't too far behind. He is 1.2 seconds behind the McLaren. He just needs to find a bit more ground in order to get within DRS range of the teleporting McLaren. No. That's interesting to see. Fatal Express side by side at the exit of turn 4. Fatal's got the nose in front and the inside line for turn 6, so he's through into P11. Kitten Petter is back into the pit lane, so oh dear, he's not having a fun race. He has to pray that the safety car comes out at some point. Pray to the racing gods that the safety car comes out. Around turn 10, heading on to the back straightaway. Oh, a bit of a wiggle there from Mitch Burns. Aaron Kerry just behind. Lopez overtakes Dream. That was for 14th place as they head into turn 11. A lot of sparks flying off the cars. It's quite a common sight to see here in Bahrain. Not so much other racetracks. You tend to see a lot of sparks flying off the cars at this circuit in particular. Look at Cameron. 2.8 seconds. He is well out in front. Cruising at the moment, building up that lead. Barmer in P2 as Kit and Peta gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. And he's still within 1 second range, but only just within 1 second range. He heads around turn 1. He was about 9/10 behind. At the end of the straightaway, he was half a second behind. Really shows you how powerful DRS is. Bit of shenanigans going on in the background. Hang on a minute. Express, Bursey, Fatal as well, just in front. Bursey has DRS. Yeah, he won't be close enough to attack here into turn 4. But no, I like that camera shot just before turn 4 where you can see the background of drivers going through turn 1. Tend to see some interesting stuff as Bursey has made a bit of a hash of that S section. He's lost time to Fatal. Express has closed in a little bit. These two drivers on the medium compound tyre. They've got a long way to go until their first stops. And he's closer this time around. He's looking to the inside at turn 11. And he gets it done. Elliott's trying to follow through. The two McLarens are side by side heading around turn 12. Elliott on the outside. He can't hang it on the outside there. There's absolutely no grip on the outside of turn 12. Heading down towards turn 14. See there Andy trying to move a little bit, trying to break the toe. Barmer is going to get a massive helping hand with DRS on the main straightaway. Watch this. So he's 3.5 tenths behind. He'll open DRS. He's not using any battery, as you can see. What about Andy? He's not really using a battery. Now Barmer used a little bit. And he's not actually going to go for it, is he? Oh no, he is going to go for it. It just seemed like he hesitated. Elliott's trying to get in on the action as well. Around turn 2, into 3. They're still side by side. And there's Elliott. He's trying to make it 3 wide, heading down towards turn 4. Elliott's got the nose in front. Oh, and he cuts in front of his teammate. They're 3 wide almost again at the exit of turn 4. Andy now has the inside line for turn 6, but Elliott has it for turn 7. And he gets in front of the Ferrari, and he takes second place. But Andy fights back into turn 8. And gets back in front into second place. Now Barmer gets the traction that he needs to take third away from his teammate, even with a little wiggle on the exit of the hairpin. And Elliott spins. He spins. And he drops down to P6, make that P10, P11. And that's not a disconnect either. That's genuinely, he's down in 11th place. Oh dear. And here's that useless camera angle that shouldn't be in the game. Now he has to try and make his way back through the field to get back up to where he once was, and that's not an easy task to do. Heading down towards the penultimate turn. Now we got a train of cars. Andy, Barmer, Nicholas is now in this, same with Peyton. So we've got a four-car fight for second place. I got there in the end. Barmer takes P2 away from Andy, who breaks quite deep into the hairpin. Plenty of locking up going into turn 1. Up the hill around turn 3. Andy will get DRS, and he is close enough to try and attack. He looks to the inside of Barmer. Barmer doesn't resist too much. Tries to keep the car on the outside, though, and they're going to battle into the S section. Around turn 5, into turn 6, then into turn 7. Barmer gets in front, but Andy gets a switch back. He's now back alongside the McLaren, heading around turn 8. Oh, a bit of a wiggle there from Barmer as well at the exit of turn 8. Andy has the inside line for turn 9. Barmer can't get underneath Andy for turn 10, so he has to stay behind the Ferrari, but he does have DRS. He'll draw alongside Andy. No, he'll stay behind. Whoa, whoa, that's not a sight you want to see. Okay then. Around turn 12, heading up to the second sector split. Peyton gets a 3-second time penalty. We saw in the back a shot. He ran wide at turn 12, which gave him a warning. Carey is closing in as well. He's just 1.4 seconds behind in P6. If he can catch up, we got an almighty train of cars fighting for second place. Heading on to the main straightaway now. And Andy ducks off into pit lane. Interesting. This seems a bit early. Here comes Nicholas Latifi to try and take second place away from Barber. He's got the inside line. Gonna try and get it done. And he's successful. And Andy's pitted onto the hard tyre. Peyton's pitted onto a set of softs. Mitch is onto a set of mediums. So Peyton is definitely doing a two-stop. Mitch still up in the air in trying to work out what he's going to try and do. He might try and do a soft medium. Andy's definitely doing a one-stop, moving onto the hard tyre. He does have to be wary, though. That hard tyre is not particularly useful for about 14 laps. Compared to the medium tyre, it's terrible. But once the medium tyre wears to the point where it's in puncture territory, then the hard tyre comes into its own. Yeah, basically, Matty, Cameron's got a huge lead and he's disappeared from the rest of the field. He's gone. He's got an 8-second lead over his teammate Nicholas. It's now a Red Bull 1-2. Oh, and Barmer has spun. Oh, dearie me, that's awfully close there at turn 13. Oh, and he spins again at 13 because his tyres are now burning hot. Oh, dear. Oh, dear, oh, dear. He rejoins. Now down in 13th place. Oh, he's in the gravel trap as well. That'll make his tyres even worse. Oh dear. This is not the race that the defending champion was looking for. Try and start his championship off on a good note. Set of medium tyres for JD. He can try and go to the end on those. Express on the back of Mitch 791. Barmer's now into the pits as well. Heading onto the straightaway. Can Express find a way by? I don't think he can. He's not quite close enough, so we'll look away from that briefly. Bursey, Fatal, almost side by side, heading into the S section at 5, 6 and 7. Bursey keeps the car in front. Fatal losing just a little bit of ground through the S section, which you do kind of expect, having to put up with all that dirty air. Fair enough. Heading down towards turn 11. Fatal looking around the outside. Oh, it's tight on the exit. Bursey hangs on to the position. Just Fatal tries to fight though, and rather wisely backs out of that fight. There, at turn 12, you do not want to go side by side through turn 12. That's just a death sentence. Lopez is just behind as well in P8. I was about to say P7 there. Heading down onto the main straightaway. Game Boy goes into the pits now for his pit stop. And here comes Fatal to take what is now P5 away from Bursey. And Lopez isn't quite close enough to try and attack Bursey into turn 1. So he has to stay behind for now as Peyton sets a new fastest lap with a 29.583. Game Boy, he's moved on to the hard compound tyre and he's now down in 15th place. Bursey, he won't be close enough to battle through this middle sector. He just needs to stay as close as he can to Fatal to try and battle on the next lap with the help of DRS, but he's lost about 3/10 through this middle sector at the moment. He needs to stay about half a second behind heading onto the main straight for lap 10 in order to try and pass, and that helps. Fatal has made a mistake, and here comes Bursey trying to draw alongside Fatal. He does. He's now in front of the Haas. He's back into P5. This might not help Bursey all that much because Fatal will now get DRS on lap 10. Oh, he runs wide though there at turn 12. That's bound to be a warning. Gap increases to about half a second. Heading around turns 9. Heading around turn 14 and 15. Here comes Fatal to retake P5 thanks to DRS. Again, Lopez isn't quite close enough to battle Bursey into turn 1. Payton sets another fastest lap with a 29.235. Heading onto the straightaway now. Lopez again not quite close enough. Andy and Dream battling for position. Andy gets through. He's into P11. Too much battling going on, but you do kind of expect it at this stage of the race. Dream can fight back into turn 4, but elects not to. Stays behind Andy. Probably a wise thing to do. He's on older tyres. He hasn't made a pit stop yet, so might be a smart thing to do to try and follow Andy as best he can. Try and make the most of these medium compound tyres. Mitch just behind in P14. These two might start scrapping out in a few moments. We'll wait and see. Meanwhile, Cameron just enjoying himself at the moment. 7.6 seconds is the gap between him and his teammate. He's well and truly checked out. He's going to come into the pit lane for his, what I'm going to assume, one and only stop. Set of medium tyres at the ready. Nicholas takes the lead. Aaron Carey stays out. Elliott stays out too. And we got the medium runners, Fatal, Bursey and Lopez. They move into P4, 5 and 6 respectively. Cameron will come out in front of Payton. Yes. He's in front of Payton. Payton on the soft compound tyre. He's trying to do a 2-stop. So he's in effective P2 at the moment once the pit cycle ends. But yeah, he's got another pit stop to make at some point. JD moves himself into P11. Dream slots down to P12. Not too much happening at the moment. Sort of entering that stale phase of the race at midpoint, where everyone's in the middle of pit cycles and all the strategies are scrambling the field. Hopefully towards the end the strategies come together again. We get to see some good battling. Yeah, it's quite a natural thing to see, Matty. I remember talking to a driver in another league and how hard he was pushing the tyres. I think he did 22 laps on the medium tyre and it reached, I think it was something ludicrous like 87%. Somehow he didn't get a puncture. One driver during that league race did get a puncture, but his tyres were only at 78%. It sort of reaffirms the idea that it's just RNG, basically, when it comes to punctures. So the tyres can last a fairly long time, even while trying to push them, but they fall off a cliff after they hit about 75%. Like, there's no pace in them whatsoever after that point. As JD is trying to overtake Andy, they're battling into turn 2. But JD gets in front into 7th place. Yes, KD, that's who it was. This is Zach Crichton, one of the most unbelievable drivers who I've seen in league racing. Can just do things that other people just can't. What a remarkable driver. Got a train forming here. At the front of it is JD in P7. Got Andy, Mitch, Nicholas, Dream. League Game Boy's about 2 seconds behind in 12th. So it's a, what's that? A 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 car train. P7. Yeah, because as soon as it hits 75%, I think it's just RNG after that point. It doesn't matter how well you looked after the tyres. As soon as you hit that point, it's up to the game to decide when you get a puncture. And it just decides randomly, I think. As Bursey is in. Bursey, this is a fairly early stop of the medium tyre. Elliott's moving on to the medium tyre, getting off the soft tyre. Alrighty, so Bursey's doing a 2-stop. Surprised to see, we haven't had a safety car just yet. Not a single retirement over the course of this race so far, as Mitch and Nicholas are battling for P7. Heading around turn 3. No one consuming any battery at the moment. Oh my goodness, look at all the battery that Nicholas has got. My word, he's got 80 odd percent. It's quite high for Bahrain. That's more natural to see about 30% that, and he's got about 20% for JD. Mitch has got just under 50. Yellow flags are about. That might have been Aaron here. I'm not sure. Oh, woof. Okay then. Oh, Jesus. That was a send and a half from Bursey. I just glanced down the chat, and then I saw an Alfa Romeo out of nowhere go down the inside of Aaron. That's the happen. Oh, wow, wait. That's a big send there from Bursey. Good stuff. I'd agree, Matty. If you're going to try and do a two-stop, yeah. As Fatal and Lopez pit on lap 14 of 29. They're going to try and do what Bursey's doing. Are they doing a two-stop, or are they moving on to the hard tyre? I suppose we'll find out in a few moments. Meanwhile, Nicholas is lining up Andy Wu here. On the inside of turn 1, he's going to try and send it. Andy leaves enough room for the Red Bull. Into turn 2, though, Andy still has the inside line. Around turn 3, though, Nicholas finally moves himself into P4. Around turn 4 they go. JD doing a pretty good job maintaining the lead of this train. Sparks flying there as they go through turn 7. Then down the hill towards turn 8. Now Nicholas can afford to be a bit patient, wait for the right moment to try and go for a move. A bit of a wiggle there at the exit of turn 8. Heading around 9 and 10. See how much he closes in on the brakes. Fresher tyres. Plenty of confidence as well. Dumping a bit of battery too, because he's got so much battery life in that car at the moment. Heading up the hill around turn 12. See the drivers not touching that inside curb, avoiding that inside curb as best they can. And he's losing a little bit of ground. It's sort of demonstrating the pace of the hard tyre. It's just a nothing tyre. It only comes into its own very late in the race when the medium compound tyres really start to wear out. And here comes Nicholas. JD sitting duck. Nothing he can do in this situation. And Latifi is into third place. And once Peyton makes his second and final stop, Nicholas will take P2, making it a Red Bull 1-2 once again. Now, Game Boy is battling Elliott here. This is for P7. Game Boy's got DRS. He's not using any battery, though, to try and attack into turn 4. So he stays behind for now. And we go, oh my word. Oh, look at that send from Bursey again. Alrighty, after Bursey's in an aggressive move, he's just shown... he's shown his intent and trying to get by. Just this big move to the right to try and go down the inside. I like it. It's aggressive, but I won't like it if he takes someone out. That's where I draw the line. But I'm all for aggressive moves, and he needs to be aggressive. He's doing a two-stop. He can't muck around. He can't just hang behind the cars in front of him. He needs to move forward. He needs to be aggressive. And down towards turn 11. He can't really be aggressive here. Turn 11's just a bit too quick to try and send it down the inside. I suppose not, Electric Blade. I'm not sure where Arbar is, actually. See, being a commentator in multiple leagues, it's difficult to keep in touch of what's going in several different leagues with all the drivers. So I'm not sure myself. As Peyton makes his second and final stop, moving on to the medium compound tyre. And look at all the track position he's going to lose. He's going to fall behind Express, I think. It will be tight. Where is he? Just leaving the pits now. So yeah, he falls to 14th. He's on fresh rubber though, so he can try and make his way back up through the field. JD takes P2 away from Nicholas. Into the S section we go. I love these aerial shots. These are fantastic. I wish the game would give me them more often because I absolutely adore them. You can see so much with this. You can see multiple cars battling for position. You can see the landscape of the circuit as well that we don't often take time to appreciate, because that's one thing Codemasters do a pretty solid job of, is the environment around the racetrack, especially at circuits like Monaco. It's quite stunning. As Nicholas moves back into second place just before turn 11. Oh, there you go, Blade. Maddie provided an answer in the chat. Studies, fair enough. Fair enough. Excuse me. Heading down towards turn 14. JD will get a whole heap of DRS. Try and help him out. Doesn't have a lot of battery though to play with compared to Nicholas anyway. He's dumping a fair bit of battery though to try and close in. A bit of weaving going on. Trying to break the toe, and here comes the Alfa Romeo. Will it be a send from JD? No. Just a bit too far back. Around turn 2 into turn 3. That was 3.5 tenths of a second. I don't think he'd be able to attack here as Lopez and Aaron are battling for position. They're side by side around turn 2. Can Aaron get the run? Elliot and Mitch Burns have changed places as well. There's Bursey and Fatal going side by side into turn 4. Oh, a little bit of contact, wheel-to-wheel contact between Bursey and Fatal as they head into the S section. Around turn 6, around turn 7. Oh, you can see there Lopez just using a little bit of the inside curb at turn 7. The car stepped away just a little bit. Got off throttle, straightened the car up. Got the car under control. Around turn 10, there's Aaron and Mitch just behind. Peyton's in P13 now, just 1 second behind Mitch. So he's going to join this battle very shortly, and he's on fresh rubber. I can't speak. He's on fresh rubber, so he's going to be quick. Around turn 12, up towards 13. It's going to be a fairly interesting battle between the slot, I reckon. Especially with Peyton on the back of it. Cameron, a 3-second time penalty, multiple warning. Oh, what a naughty boy. He's got a million-second lead, and now he's got a 3-second time penalty. What a travesty. Heading up towards turn 1. Fatal trying to line up Bursey here, looking down the inside into turn 1. Peyton gets by Mitch as well. Bursey's trying to fight back into turn 2. Fatal's having none of it. It's tight at turn 3 as they head towards turn 4. Neither car has DRS, so Lopez is now on the scene. Down the inside of Bursey. Oh, contact! More contact! Big contact there between Lopez and Aaron. It started with contact between Lopez and Bursey. It's ended with Aaron getting wing damage. Oh, what unfortunate luck there from Aaron. Just an innocent bystander with nowhere to go. He has to do effectively 2/3 of a lap without a front wing. Oh, I feel sorry for the poor fella. And it seems that Lopez has wing damage as well. He's got a missing end plate on the right hand side of that wing. Here he comes. Yeah, see it there. No end plate. Oh well. That's racing sometimes. You just get caught out in things that you just can't control. That's exactly what Aaron had to put up with there. Meanwhile, these two are still having at it, and Peyton's now got a relatively clear track to try and close the gap to both Bursey and Fatal. Mitch Burns is into the pit lane, so it seems that he's going to try and do a two-stopper. He's going on to another set of medium compound tyres. Express is into the pit lane as well for his final stop. And Lopez and Aaron will join that queue as well. Ah, poor fellas. JD, Andy, Elliot, 3-car train battling for P3. Ooh, and Elliot's battling here with Andy. He is very... Oh, a bit of lag there. I think that was Andy lagging massively forward there at the hairpin. Around turn 10. See from the camera juttering, it's not too great on Elliot's end either. Oh dear. Oh, hopefully people don't get caught out from this. Heading down the back straight. This battle is not over between these two. McLaren is right on the back of the Ferrari here. Heading onto the long straightaway before the penultimate turn. Now JD, I reckon in his position he's going to try and go to the end on those tyres. I mean, he has to do another 10 laps on the things, but you might as well try, surely. No, he's going to go in, really. Man, I just take the gamble. I mean, you're in P3. There's a real chance of getting a podium. I'd go for it. I'd just go for it. If you get a puncture, then, you know, bad luck. But you got to try, surely, to hang on. He's onto soft tyres, and he's still inside the top 10, so he's set to score something, but he's got a lot of catching up to do. Yeah, I reckon in his position. Just try. See what happens. You know. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But if it does, there's a chance you could get a podium out of it. Great way to start off a season. Oh, Burzy was riding that inside curb at turn 6, and he almost lost it there, I reckon. That car did not look stable. Fatal had a bit of a moment at the exit of turn 8 as well. He lost a little bit of time. Heading around turn 10 onto the back straightaway we go. Peyton's now closed into within a second, but he doesn't get any DRS. Not just yet. He's got a little bit more waiting until he gets DRS. I was kind of hoping that the strategies would all come together. It seems that we have the opposite effect. Well, the strategy has resulted in the field spreading out quite a bit. This is the only battle we have on circuit at the moment. It's a battle for P6. Everyone else has got fairly lengthy gaps. Bit disappointing, but that's racing. At least we have this going on though. Burzy, whole heap of slipstream down the inside. He actually switches off DRS fairly early there. And he gets through. Fatal can't get the over-under done. Around turn 3. And there's Fatal getting the position back with the help of DRS. Here comes Peyton. Does he go for it? He's going to try. Oh! We almost had Burzy and Lopez 2.0 right there. But Peyton rather wisely backing out just enough to avoid contact. Heading up and over the crest towards turns 9 and 10. Peyton, he's on slightly fresher tyres compared to those in front. Fatal on 6-lap-old hards. Compared to Burzy on 7-lap-old hards. And then himself on 7-lap-old hards. Did I say that? 7-lap-old mediums. And then Peyton on 4-lap-old mediums. The only trouble is for Peyton, he does have a penalty next to his name. 3 seconds. Same with Fatal, same with Cameron, Lopez and Kitten Petto, who has had no luck in terms of safety cars. There hasn't been one. And not a single retirement either. Credit to all these drivers. We have not had a retirement. We almost had one at turn 4, but thankfully, yeah, that didn't result in anyone retiring. Just a lot of wing damage. Heading down towards turn 1, Peyton has the inside line on Burzy, but Burzy's having none of it tonight. Contact there. But Peyton gets through into P6. Does he have DRS though? Oh, neither does. Whoa, 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 whoa. As Peyton gives up both positions there. Okay. Interesting. He just pulled to the inside and let both of them back through. Okay. Maybe that outboard shot didn't display the full story there at turn 1. Or contact, I think. I'm not sure, but I think there was contact between Peyton and Fatal. They were awfully close to one another at the exit of turn 8. Fatal now drops down to 10th. Well, yeah, you predicted 5 retirements for me. We haven't had one. And we're running out of laps. We might have everyone finish this race. That'd be pretty sick. Look at the gaps. All spread out now. No battles going on. So the predictions he made was that Bahma was going to win, Andy was going to finish in second, and either Cameron or Nicholas was going to finish in third. Currently, we have Cameron in first, Nicholas in second, and Elio is in third. And our retirements, he had 5 retirements listed down, and we haven't had none. So, yeah. But we've still got laps to go. We've still got heaps of laps to go. Anything can happen. All it takes is one teeny mistake, and then suddenly a driver's in the wall. And then all hell will break loose towards the end as drivers desperately fight for every position they can get. I hate that camera shot. That camera shot looking back towards turn 10. It's terrible because the leaderboard is covering up the racing light. So you have to switch it off. It's just irritating. Like, there's a couple of terrible camera shots that Codemasters just feel the need to put into a game. I just wish they didn't. Oh, you don't predict podium order. Oh, okay. You just predict the 3 who are going to stand on the podium. Well, how does it count between Nicholas and Cameron? Because you put Cameron/Nicholas as your podium, as we got random yellow flags there. Peyton and Bursey. Bursey's in. Why are you in? Oh, that's right. That's right. He hasn't made his... Yep, that's right. He's only done 2 medium stints. Now he's onto the soft tyre and he can go to the end. That's right. Now I remember. Good. Yeah, you predicted Cameron/Nicholas for the podium, and they're currently both on the podium. I'll be fascinated to see how that counts. It counts as one. Oh well. At least you got one. That's the main thing. Yeah, he's lost a fair bit of track position by doing this unorthodox 2-stop. I mean, he's on quick tyres now, and yeah, he can only stand to gain 1 place, and that's Bahma. There's not enough laps remaining for him to attack Mitch. He's too far away. So, with this strategy, it's essentially just taking him outside the top 10. And it doesn't matter if a safety car comes out, because then, you know, yeah, he might be on fresher he might be on the right tyre, but everyone's going to pit for soft tyres. So I don't think he will stand to gain any track position if we do have a late safety car. So, yeah, I agree with you. It's a bit of a weird one. As JD is making a move on Mitch. 791. Haas look like they're going to take a double points finish, which would be a nice start for this outfit. They're currently P8 and P9. Mitch in P10. Not the best day in the office for Aston Martin, with only 1 driver competing, and KD's already mentioned how disappointed he is unable to race thanks to work. Bahma's into the pits onto a set of soft tyres. I think in his position he's not stand to gain anything except for trying to take fastest lap away from somebody. So I can understand his position. Pit onto a fresh set of tyres and try and take fastest lap away. Here comes Lopez. Down the inside, he takes P12 away from Express. Express takes it back, though. You'll have the inside line. Express backs out. I suppose fair enough. Yeah. Quite right. Yeah. I think with this sort of aggressive 2-stop strategy, he needed to start on the soft tyre, I reckon. He probably needed a safety car to help him out as well. Because on the soft tyre, you want to be aggressive, you want to make moves, and the best way to make moves over the course of a race, especially if there's no safety cars, is right at the start where all the field is condensed. You hop onto the soft tyre, you be aggressive, and then you compensate later on. Try to make the most of doing an extra stop, pitting onto 2 sets of mediums. Or you could try and do a soft, medium, soft or something like that. You could try, but... yeah, few interesting strategies going on tonight. I'm a bit surprised by how many people aren't going with a simple soft medium tonight, because it is doable here in Bahrain. You can definitely do soft medium, and the hard tide provides nothing. The 2-stop means you have an extra stop and more work to do. Soft medium is just really the way to go. Soft medium, soft medium, yeah. Because the soft tyre has that much of an edge over the medium tyre, you might as well use it as much as you can. But you need to be aggressive. That sort of reverse medium, soft hasn't really worked for Burzy. Only a few more laps to go, where we do have a battle for second place about to start here between Nicholas and Elliot. They're only 3/10 apart heading into turn 1. And we only got 3 laps remaining, so this might be interesting between these two. I think from this point onwards, there's no chance of a safety car. So, yep, whatever battles are going on right now, this is it. These are the final battles for this race. You can see the penalties. Plenty of drivers with penalties. No 6 seconds though. Everyone with 3 seconds. Cameron, Peyton, JD, Fatal, Lopez, Dream, Barmer, and Kitten Petto all have 3 seconds. There's a real chance for Moo that Elliot can take P2, which would be quite remarkable considering what happened at the beginning of the race. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this camera shot. Worst camera shot at Bahrain. Easily. Oh. Actually, maybe second worst camera shot at Bahrain. There is a camera shot on the main straightaway that is like buried in the grass. And it provides you with nothing. Like, at least with that camera shot, all you have to do is remove the leaderboard and you can see what's going on. But there's like... I'll see if I'm lucky enough or unlucky enough that I actually get it. But yeah, there's a camera shot buried in the grass and you can see nothing from it. It's great. There's also one that has a camera right on the nose of the car looking back at the driver. It provides nothing. It literally provides nothing. Heading down towards turn 1, Elliot. He's close, not close enough though to attack. He can try and be patient here, wait for the right moment to strike, but he cannot make a mistake, because if he does, Nicholas will drive away and Elliot will have very few opportunities to try and get by. Peyton and Game Boy swap places. Now Peyton, he's got 2 laps to try and build up a 3-second margin to hang on to P5. It's going to be a bit tough. I mean, 1.5 seconds a lap, it's a bit much. Exiting turn 8, heading up. Oh! Big wiggle there from Nicholas. And here comes Elliot down the inside into turn 9. So he's through into second place. Now, that might just be a gift in disguise for Nicholas, because he'll get DRS now. Elliot won't. Now, obviously, he can't attack here into turn 11. That's just a bit too much. And look at all the battery he's got. Look at all that. 52% compared to 40-odd%. Oh, granted to Elliot, he's got plenty of battery himself. This might be a fairly interesting battle between these two. Meanwhile, Cameron's on the final lap. He's got a 20-second lead. He's gone. He's won. The end. Basically. We'll keep an eye on this. The battle for second place. Will it be a Red Bull 1-2? Or will Elliot spoil the party? Half a second is the gap between P3 and P2. Nicholas is closing in rapidly. Entering turn 1 at 204 miles an hour. He's not close enough to attack here. Can he do it at turn 4 perhaps? Heading around turn 3, using a fair bit of battery. Elliot moving around the racetrack, trying to break the toe. And not close enough to attack here. You can see the flashing light as well. So at that moment, he had less than 10% battery. So he doesn't have much battery anymore. Yeah, you can see here 13% compared to Nicholas, who has 30. Around turn 8. Again, not quite close enough. Oh, a bit of a wiggle from Nicholas. The back end stepping out. But he's still within 1 second. Meanwhile, Cameron, he only has one more sector to negotiate. Been a fairly dominating drive here from Cameron tonight. He's been quite simply untouchable. We'll come around the final 2 corners, head on to the main straight for the final time. Cameron will win the opening round of the AM1 Championship. He will win the Bahrain Grand Prix by a very, very comfortable margin. Around the final 2 corners, it seems Elliott is going to hang on. What an effort from the McLaren driver. He'll take P2. Nicholas will have to settle for 3rd, but it's a big points haul for Red Bull. They're easily going to be leading the Constructors' Championship after round 1. Andy Wu will finish in 4th place. Elite Game Boy will finish in P5. Peyton will finish in 6th. A solid points haul for Alpine. Mitch in 7th place, then JD, then Fatal. I think Mitch will take that position. He will. He'll finish in 9th. So both Haas scoring points, both Alpine scoring points, and both Red Bulls scoring points. Bersey will finish in P11, followed by Express, then Lopez. Barmer, what a race to forget. He'll finish in P15 behind Aaron Carey. Vents his frustration there, crashing into the wall at the finish line. Dream P16, and Kitten Petter will be our final finisher eventually. Oh, he's going to finish backwards. You're in neutral, Chief. There we go. Oh my goodness. What is this? What was that? He was reversing with the brake fully on and no acceleration. What? That was different. The Elite Game Boy given driver of the day. See their performance. The final results screen. But first, the podium celebrations. What a drive from Cameron. A very comfortable victory in this opening round. Big statement of intent from the Red Bull driver. It's going to be a tough cookie to beat over the course of this season, it seems. Elliott P2 and Nicholas Latifi completing the podium. Red Bull 1-3. Nice start to the season for the Milton Keynes outfit. Oh, poor Kitten Petter. Well, at least you finished, which meant that everybody who started finished the race. How nice. Not a single retirement from this opening round. Typically, you see quite a few drivers retire, especially here at Bahrain. No, everyone kept their cars relatively straight, and everyone finished. Good to see. Cameron, from pole position to victory lane. He takes the win here at the Bahrain Grand Prix. Elliott P2. Nicholas from P8 to P3. Solid effort there from Nicholas. Andy Wu P4. Elite Game Boy driver of the day. Started P10, finishing P5. I can understand why. Hang on, Mitch went from 14th to 7th. Hang on, game. Mitch made up more places. He made up 7. He was robbed of driver of the day. Both drivers doing a spectacular effort, making up plenty of places over the course of the race. Peyton will finish P6, then Mitch in P7. JD P8, Mitch Burns in 9th, and Fatal completes the top 10. Bersey P11, Express P12, Lopez P13, Aaron Carey P14. Yeah, bummer, race to forget. He got fastest lap though, so nobody gets that extra point. He finishes in 15th, followed by Dream and Kitten Petter finishing in last place. And we seem to be stuck on this menu. I imagine that was probably your loneliest race ever. I imagine. But look at that, top 3. Take note of this, AM1. Top 3, soft medium. And everyone else behind did not do soft medium. Literally everyone else behind. Is this not just the best indication that soft medium is the way to go here at Bahrain? Okay, just make a mental note. Soft medium. If it's green flag, from start to finish, do that. Next 2 cars is soft hard. Then it's a 2-stop. Granted, Peyton was in 5th. It was only because of penalties. He did soft, medium. So, that's probably the ideal 2-stop strategy. There we go. Plenty of incidents. Plenty of incidents. Plenty of cutting the track. And plenty of pit stops over the course of the race as well. There we go, stewards. If you need the race director, it's on the stream. And I think that will probably wrap everything up here tonight. Nice race. Nice opening round. It wasn't the most entertaining thing in the world, but definitely wasn't shocking. We had our moments. We had some racing, a bit of drama, a bit of action. And it's good to see that everyone finished. That's always nice to see. But I think with the race finally over, it's time for us to end the stream. Until next time, I've been Lane Everingham. Thank you all so much for watching. And we'll see you for round 2 of the AM1 Championship at Baku City Circuit for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Yeah, we might see a bit more drama next week. That will be my prediction. But until next time, it's goodbye.